could start my business with practically just £2 in a shed. Yeah, because what you see today is a far cry from where I was in a two battered cortina. Yes, working all the hours under the sun. Today, people can't believe that this man was doing loading, unloading, and delivery to the airport. Collecting cargo from Tottenham Court Road, Edgware Road. They won't believe Lord Ranger. They think he was born, with a silver business to grow so rapidly. There was nothing secret. The only thing is we went out to exhibit. We exhibit in every corner of the world. If the customer won't come to us, we'll go to them. This country, there were a lot of bigotry and prejudice because people didn't give us opportunities, and all these Asians opted for the corner shop, and they become very rich. Yes, because had they been given opportunity, I went for business because I was always denied promotion. I was treated very badly. I was looked down upon, even though I was the #1 manager of Curry's.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Inspire Pod with myself, Karam Kang. We bring you the best interviews with leading business people and entrepreneurs in their field. Today's guest, he was born in India during the partition with Pakistan in the mid-1940s to a single mother of 8 following the assassination of his father. Having been in a refugee camp in his early years in India with his siblings, he moved to the UK in 1971 and worked his way through roles at Curry's, KFC and Dixon's. As his ambitions grew, he set up his own shop businesses before setting up Sea, Air and Land Forwarding, an air freight company in 1985 with only £2. Fast forward today, he has business interests with annual turnovers in excess of £200 million per annum. He works in major blue chip companies across all continents in the world. He's won an unprecedented 5 Queen's Awards for Enterprise, and in 2019, he was created Baron Ranger of Mayfair in City of Westminster. Today's guest is none other than Lord Rami Ranger CBE. Hi, Lord Rami. How are you?
I am very well, and thank you for the introduction. Let me correct you 1 or 2 things.
Okay.
I was born in 1947 in India, which has now become Pakistan, a place called Gujranwala, and I started my business in 87.
Okay, great. Thank you for that correction. Again, once again, really excited to have you on. Thanks a lot for your time. And I just wanted to start this session because, as we can imagine, a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs and people looking forward in their life, that are probably come unstuck due to a few challenges with COVID-19. How have you seen businesses evolving and adapting during the current COVID-19 situation?
I have a great faith in human strength. We are going to adapt to the changes. We have adopted, our company has adopted. We have given a lot of people sent home. They're working from home. Some are on furlough, and some are coming to work and maintaining their distance. We're keeping our windows open, sanitizing hands as people come and go, and no handshake, no hugging. All those precautions which one has to take, we're taking, and we're asking our staff not to leave home when you go back home, and don't use the public transport, and eat your lunch in your cars. Don't go into the cafeterias or whatever you bring. Go back to your cars which are parked, and you eat your food in your privacy, and don't sit with your colleague. So a lot of things I've done, and we have also told our customer also that we are taking orders, we are loading containers because our business is export, and because we are dealing in food business, and there's a huge demand. In fact, we have never seen demand like this ever before. So we are still trying to keep the country or the world going by supply chain. So a lot of changes, a lot of challenges we're facing because the supply is also restricted from our suppliers because they're also facing huge demand from by everywhere. So what can we do? We have to adapt. We have to make the most of this situation. But again, as I said, we will prevail because we are, as long as we cooperate with the government, with the advice given to us by the authorities, the doctors or the chief medical officers, we should not become unnecessary, overconfident. So we need to preserve our life. That's the most important thing at under this pandemic. And then I'm sure we will emerge as a very, very strong company because more and more people are now doing business with us. And if we can give them good service, good product, good prices, they will come back.
Brilliant. That's really great to see how there's so many positives from it within your business. Do you see what are the long-term benefits for business in the UK as a whole, and Europe and the world? Do you see coming from the COVID challenges?
Well, sadly, many business will suffer. Yes, because they are not in the food business. Yes, in my business, it's a foolproof business, recession-proof. People have to eat. Even in recession, when people can't buy a better car, better television, better holiday, they eat. They eat more. It's a feel-good factor. They go into supermarket, they buy whatever they want, and so. But there are some businesses who will not be able to sustain prolonged lockdown. So the government is trying to do their best to mitigate losses, for these people. And I hope and I pray that this lockdown is eased gradually. Within a couple of weeks, we can see some movement. And I heard on the radio today that they will make some exception, like garden center, DIY, some restaurant will be able to give takeaway food rather than just sit down meal. So things will gradually become normal, but I think it may take 6 months to 8 months.
Okay, great. And with your own business yourself, number of the awards, the Queen's Awards that you won were during a recession period, and we might see that as well. Can you talk to us about how you did that before, and how you pivoted and innovated yourself?
There are 5 principles which I use. They are self-respect. That if people have no self-respect, they will come late to work. They will let their customer down. They will dress shabbily. They will do all sorts of things because self-respect. You want to preserve your self-respect, that people respect you because you're an honest man, you are ethical man. So self-respect is within your own reach. It's up to you to how people respect. A work ethic is very important. That if you're working, that you must give pound of flesh to your employer who is paying you salary, national insurance, holiday pay, sick pay, all these things. So you've got to be careful that you just don't go and waste their money and your time. And commitment is very important. No matter how clever you are, you could be a Harvard graduate, but if you're not willing to work and you're not willing to get your hand dirty, that degree, that knowledge is totally waste. So you have to show commitment, that to your work. And the fourth one is you have to have vision. Without vision, you're a headless chicken, unable to find your destination. So therefore, the vision is very important, that you have to plan where I am, where I need to be, and how will I reach there. And then you have to make efforts to achieve your goals. And finally is empathy. You have to have empathy for others. You have to have empathy for your employer who has paid you, who's giving you an opportunity to develop your career. You have to have empathy for your colleagues. It's not that they are taking the pressure and you are just watching television or playing games. Or empathy for your juniors. You got to make sure that you train them. They're not typewriter. You don't expect them to be yes men because they will not then add value to your business or to your company. So empathy for your customer. You can't have an attitude of I'm all right, Jack. The customer. If your customers suffer, you will suffer. If they don't succeed, you don't succeed. These are very basic, simple. You don't have to go to Cambridge or Oxford to learn this basic principle, that you got to empathize with your supplier. You have to pay them on time because they have to pay on time. So looking at a slightly bigger picture than just being a selfish person will bring a huge benefit to the table. So that's how I started my business with these principles. And then they say hidden talent is no talent. Yes, if you can sing, you're a good singer, then you might as well sing. If you're a good actor, you might as well act and let the world see. So if I'm a businessman and I have a product or services, then I have to go and tell the world what product, what services I have, what benefit I can bring to the table. So for our business to grow so rapidly, there was nothing secret. The only thing is we went out to exhibit. We exhibit in every corner of the world. If the customer won't come to us, we'll go to them. Yes, because by going to the exhibition, people take you seriously. And in exhibition, you don't find time wasters. No one comes there for sightseeing. They are also coming to find product or a strategic partner or distributor or a supplier. So it's amazing. Those people who don't exhibit, they can never grow their businesses because all you're doing is a local. You have to look global if you want to be a global company. So that's how very simple. Anybody can do it. In my book is from nothing to everything. It's written everything. Yes. Yes, I want to give people the benefit of my knowledge that they don't have to go through what I went through. They can bypass all the hardships, all the difficulties which I faced. And, life is as simple as you want to be. You want to make it to be.
I absolutely love that, especially how you touch upon the softer skills such as empathy, hard working, vision, etc. Because I think, of course, that can come to anybody naturally. And whilst those soft skills are, of course, important, I mentioned at the beginning, you of course had experience within retail companies, food companies, and also, your local shop before the main businesses you started. What hard skills and business skills would you advise anybody to learn or understand prior to getting into business or, advancing their own careers?
Very good question. The best way to start a business is to work for a company and test your mettle by working for somebody. Because if you make mistake, then you haven't lost anything. It's the other people. And besides, when you're working with trained people around you, you learn a lot more. The exposure is much more. If I start business straight away from home without, they say no knowledge without college. And similarly, no experience without working for somebody and getting actually your hand dirty. You're actually dealing with the customer, supplier, and facing the heat when things go wrong. So that is what I'll say, that I worked 20 years for other people and I excelled. And that's what gave me confidence, because there is a Punjabi proverb, those who are bad in Lahore are also bad in Peshawar. Yes. So if you were bad while working for somebody, you're not going to be good working for yourself, because your habits will travel with you wherever you go. So therefore, when you're working for somebody, that is your opportunity to test your mettle, test your skill, to be the best, and you become so confident that if I can run their business so well, yes, I could run my own business just as well. So learning the ropes is very important. And because then when you start your own business, you will have the foundation. You will know what the shortcomings are, what actually happens while you're running business. Yes. So therefore, a lot of people, rich people who have businesses, they will send their children to corporate companies, other companies to learn. They don't give them job immediately. My own daughter went to work for PwC 2 years. I said, look, I have limited experience here, but she worked for Google, she worked for PwC before she joined me. And unbelievable, she brought so much knowledge from those companies which I didn't have. So therefore, I would recommend people to please don't rush. There's no deadline, because you want to be solid. You don't want to be half-baked or half-trained. You must have your foundation so strong that you can take pressure and you can build business above your shoulders. So therefore, that's what I will tell them. Okay, don't rush. Go to some good company, work there, show them what you can do, and then from there you will get the confidence.
I think that's brilliant advice, especially nowadays when, with the internet and, social media, there are a lot of opportunities for people to, make their own businesses. And you also get a lot of people going into them not knowing the ropes and, in a year or two, having to go back into employment.
But when company fails, it is a damage to your self-esteem, damage to your confidence, damage to your bank balance, and then it really is damage to your opportunity as well. It's better, when you start, driving car, that you have learned how to drive car with the help of a driving instructor. So that's exactly what I say, that before you start your business, you have worked for somebody under their shadow with your colleagues who are guiding you, learning you, because there's a lot of benefit afterward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have touched upon overcoming issues, etc. And I know when I read your book, you spoke about an issue you had with a previous business partner upon not being paid your 40% commission, which was agreed. And this, of course, led into issues of doubt, during your startup business. When you had those moments of doubt, or you're feeling depressed or down while starting a business, how did you overcome this? And what was your mindset and your strength to overcome this?
You see, luckily for me, I started in service industry, where you don't need a lot of capital. Like a doctor, accountant, solicitor, because we are, a freight forwarding guy. I was selling my service, so I could start my business with practically just £2 in a shed. Yeah, because what you see today is a far cry from where I was in a two battered Cortina. Yes, working all the hours under the sun. Today, people can't believe that this man was doing loading, unloading, and delivery to the airport, collecting cargo from Tottenham Court Road, Edgware Road. They won't believe Lord Ranger. They think he was born, with a silver spoon in his mouth. He had a divine, intervention. But they don't realize that I was a car cleaner. I used to sweep floors, everything I'd done. But anyway, that made me a better human being. And when somebody else, I will never give anybody a job which I can't do it. So that made me a better human being, because I know if I can't do it, he can't do it. Yes. So the blessing in disguise. So because people try to exploit you, blessing in disguise. And I mean, I give you example. When we came to this country, there were a lot of bigotry and prejudice because people didn't give us opportunities, and all these Asians opted for the corner shop, and they become very rich. Yes, because had they been given opportunity, I went for business because I was always denied promotion. I was treated very badly. I was looked down upon, even though I was the #1 manager of curries. Yes, #1 top, but still they will talk to me as if you're talking to a coolie, and it was heartbreaking. And that's what this adversity brings out the best in you. And that's why lots of Asians opted for corner shop, and they became rich because you lived above the shop. There were no travel, no electric bill, no gas bill. Everything was paid for tax-free. Yes. Suddenly the big supermarket realized that with the business is being stolen right under our noses. Before they opened, the Asian had done 30% of the business. When they closed, after they closed, we did another 30% of the business. And in between 40%, we were competing with them. So anyway, so therefore, you can't keep a good person down. We come from India with the right values. We are a very civilized country. We have lots and lots of, strong family unit. It helps a lot, because it is very difficult for my single mother to bring out so many children. I could see, but it's so difficult. And therefore, it's very good to have husband, wife supporting a family that will give the children a head start. They can go to private school because parents are supporting them. So I think the Asian people have done so well because of our family values, like the Jewish community.
Fantastic. And on those values, being immigrants, from India, and do you see that when you get a lot of people these days coming as immigrants into new countries, it can be a disadvantage, as you experience yourself, but they can then turn that into their own advantage through motivation?
Yes. You see, when you understand your subject, you can deal with it very quickly, very carefully you can deal with it. For example, when we know we're immigrant, we know we're in a different country, We know our accent is funny. We know we don't have relatives or friends or old schoolboy network. We know we don't have the experience required or the education in this country, yeah, to be at par with the British people. So how do you compensate? You work extra hours. They work 5 hours, 5 days, you work 6 days. That's what we did when we came. We worked extra hours to overcome our drawbacks, the handicap. So, it's a hair and tortoise story, that you have to compensate your shortcoming by being positive. The most important thing is to remain positive. And if you can remain positive in a negative situation, you are a winner. And that is the key, that you must be loyal to this country. People who are not loyal, loyalty is prerequisite for success. If you're not loyal to your family, they'll kick you out. If you're not loyal to your employer, they'll sack you. If you're not loyal to this country, you will not progress. You're always looking back. Yeah, looking back. Those who look back can't look forward. So I'm very lucky that because I inherited those values. This is a small country, Great Britain. It become great because of the values. They have the values. They are tolerant, fair play. They got laws against discrimination. Yes, their rule of law. Everybody is equal. By discriminating against people, they can create liabilities rather than asset like me. Now I'm employing thousands of people. Otherwise, I could be on a dole queue. Yes. So by discriminating people on the basis of race, religion, or color, does not do the nation any good. So therefore, it's a simple, basic value you have to adopt. And good things is that these are free. You don't have to go to any very far to have that. I'm loyal. If I'm loyal, I have a loyal friend, good friend. You will be rewarded. Full stop. You marry a young lady, or the girl will marry a man who are loyal to each other. They're not looking for extreme beauty or extreme wealth. They're looking for loyalty. Loyalty to me is a top.
Yeah, brilliant. And but when I was reading your book and seeing the background on Sunmark and how it grew from working with single clients to established businesses such as Nestle and Unilever, and then branding your own business products and food products, can you talk about how that innovation grew into new opportunities and new avenues?
It's very simple. A good doctor knows which heart goes to into which body. Yes, you can have a healthy heart, healthy body, but if you mismatch them, they're both dead. A good businessman should know which products are meant for which market. Yes, for example, if you have a Rolls Royce, you have to sell that in a West End showroom. You try to sell in a corner shop, they think it's a stolen car. Yes, very common sense. So therefore, when I started my business from shipping to marketing, Sunmark, because it was a natural progression, because I was moving cargo freight for people and they were buying product from so many suppliers and I was consolidating them. And as luck would have it, one of my customers in Tanzania was facing difficulties trying to get some stock from Cadbury. He said, look, my container is delayed because the distributor is on holiday. Can you help me? I went to Cadbury. I said, look, this is the situation. We're waiting for 10 days. And she said, there's always somebody good in the world to help you. So she said, do you have an account with us? I said, no. Will you pay upfront? I said, yes. So I paid upfront. I received the goods and they were 20% cheaper because there was no distributor's margin. So I gave it to him. He was very happy. He said, bloody hell, can you get me more product? Yeah, because he said, and I started to help my customer in the belief that if I help them, I'll help myself and I'll get the freight business. But I had no idea that unwittingly, I had removed 7-8 profit centers. So he was now saving 2,000 to 3,000 pounds per container because nobody can buy full container of baked bean, full container of salad cream, full container of ketchup. They buy pallet load and then they consolidate. Yes. So my job was to bring 7, 8, 10 suppliers. And when I eliminated those suppliers, now he was getting goods direct to my warehouse, 20% cheaper, no delivery cost, no shortages, no short good dated goods. And people, the word got round, lots of people came. You make profit while buying. If your buying is right, your selling is automatically right. So these people they were queuing to do business with me. Yes. So I started, so my marketing company became good. Then it came to me that I should become agent for these big companies. And I knew that the big countries, they already have distributor. Yes, they said there's a Chinese proverb. No, there's a Yorkshireman's proverb where there's a muck, there's a brass. Yeah, you will find. I said, look, I will go to small countries where countries are too small, the market is small, they are no interest to these big greedy people. So I went to Seychelles, Maldives, Gibraltar, Madagascar, Cyprus, Malta, all these, Mauritius, all these small countries. And I said, look, I can take your product to those countries and I market them. And I got the agencies, and then I proved themselves that I'm a very good distributor. And from there, and I'm a very honest man. I don't do parallel that, because you buy for export, they're cheaper because there's 20% cheaper because they don't have to give you advertising budget, marketing, distribution, and, return goods. So they always make these export products cheaper. So a lot of people, rogue traders, they will say it's going from Mauritius, they bring back and sell it to Sainsbury. I never did that because ethics pay. A small-term gains become long-term losses. If people don't trust you for £5, they can't trust you for £500. So it's all basic. My background teacher, my mother gave me this value. The son, just be natural, be honest. Honesty will pay you in the long run. It may not bring you quick reward, but in the long term, you will have bigger reward. So from that agency, my reputation grew. Then they gave me a big country like Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, all difficult, where the distributor were underperforming. And today, I have got agencies for such big country. And then again, vision is very important. Yeah. Then I looked at Sainsbury, Tesco, that they have their own brands of product. Yeah, there's a market for Mercedes, but there's also a market for Toyota. Not everybody can afford to buy branded product because of their cost of advertising, sales, distribution, all these profit. They attract a lot of expenses. Like if you have a Chanel perfume, look at the advertisement cost of the Chanel perfume. Yes. So I decided to have my own brands. But unlike Sainsbury, Tesco, I will not compromise on the quality because they are selling for a lower end of the market. For me, export is for the top end of the market. So therefore, I said, I will only buy your product, your top product, but I won't pay you for the advertising, sales, distribution, and marketing cost. And I could get 30% cheaper, which I passed 20% benefit to the customer, kept 10% myself. It became a win-win situation. So my product, but unlike this supermarket where they call basic value product, horrible looking packaging, I gave them beautiful name, Royalty, English Breeze, Pure Heaven, Golden Country, and beautiful packaging, beautiful name. Why should I patronize my customer? Because you're so poor, you can only buy basic brand or a value brand. So all this, God is very kind. He gave me ideas, otherwise nothing. I had nothing in my life. And now I have everything and much more. Yeah, I even got honors, which is very difficult to buy.
Yeah.
Yes, to me, honors are more valuable than money. Money people can have by selling scrap, but to get honors, it really is something. And I would always recommend people that you work for your respect and you'll make more money because people will pay you more because you're honorable. People go and pay Marks and Spencer slightly more because of the quality. People go and pay a reputable doctor slightly more because he has honor. So work for your honor, you will make more money.
You spoke heavily about, surrounding yourself with the right bodies and right team. And going back to your book, there was a chapter on leadership and hiring and recruitment. And Can you talk to us about the importance of those people that you surround yourself with and finding those people with the right values and soft skills to be in your team?
Okay, this is very, very, very important point. Uh, I'm giving you my experience. Some people will say you should buy the best, you should hire the top people. Yeah, that is also good. In my case, because my profitability was so low, 10% or 7%, 5%, we have to be very careful that we don't employ big guns costing us so much money, and if they don't fire, we could lose business. Yeah. And also the high flyer can abandon you or leave you, when you need them the most. They're always looking for greener pastures because they are so confident. They're so, that they can get a better job, better money elsewhere. Their loyalty is suspect. So what I've done, rightly or wrong, I believe in apprenticeship scheme. The government is also launched their flagship scheme, apprenticeship, where you can train people from a shop floor to the boardroom. You can train them in such a way, it's called tailor-made training. Yes, you bring them from from a young age, and you train them, and those people, because they have been trained by you, they trained by your colleagues, their own colleagues, they built a very good bond with each other. They become like a family rather than picking somebody from the shelf, and that person will not have that in-depth relationship with the company, with you. And I found that my business is now over the year 33 years, 87, probably 33 years old, yeah. So in that 33 years period, I have trained people from the zero to hero, because those people have become so loyal, they got above average pay, and they became very expert in their field. They did not bring any bad habit from elsewhere. They did not feel they were arrogant. They know it more than me, or they know it better. Let's do this. So we all work as a team with the same philosophy, same policies, and we discuss. And when we discuss the implication of any idea or whatever, but then we move forward. So I will recommend people to train your own staff. It will be cheaper, it'll be cost effective, and these people will give you a lot more than a high fly, arrogant man can give you, because you'll always be worried, oh, I don't say anything, he will leave me. Yes? So the company does not run on the basis of all these people who are here today, gone tomorrow.
I think that's absolutely critical. So the clients which we work with when we're recruiting and building their teams out, the ones that do better over long term, exactly that. They hire on soft skill, hire on loyalty, and then train them and transfer their skills, and they're the ones still there 5-10 years afterwards.
Indeed, I got staff working for me for 25 years, 30 years, because there's no point leaving, because they, over the period, they keep getting increment pay. The pay has gone through the roof, and they're very grateful that the company gave them opportunity when they needed the most. When nobody wanted them, the company said, we'll train you. Yes, there's so many good people out there who are look at me. Somebody gave me an opportunity. And I worked very hard for 20 years, and I gave them the best result. So therefore, it is looking for a right material. The material, if the material is good, you can make a nice human, a business leader out of him.
Fantastic. And just moving on to the second part of our interview, I just wanted to touch upon your background, more about you, because once again, it's fascinating. Being grown up in what was the biggest partition in history between India and Pakistan. Can you give more of a background, in your upbringing, in India before you moved over to the UK?
Right. You see, what happened was we were in what is now Pakistan, and unfortunately, Hindus and Sikhs were very prosperous in that area. They had all these businesses and all these farmlands and everything. And that's why they were kicked out because people, the British divide and rule policy became divide and run. So they gave them this uh, freedom that you can take a country, you can have a country not on the basis of merit, but just on the basis of religion. And those people who lacked marriage or qualification, education, they found that opportunity to smash and grab. And a lot of killing took place. Over 1 million people were killed, and over 10 million people became refugees in their own countries because this was the poison. Uh, Unfortunately, the British were imperial power that time. They're not the same today. Today they're different. Yes, because they're no longer imperial. But when you're ruling people, you have to divide. You are ruthless. Your values are totally different. It's like a dictatorship. So British were doing this, and they left a sting in the tail. And my father was a political leader. He was a visionary. He could foretell the consequence of religious disharmony. He pleaded with the then Muslim leader not to cut and run because they were not dividing India, but they were also dividing the Muslim India and rendering the weak forever. After independence, India will be secular and democratic with one person, one vote, and together we'll make our destiny wherever, whoever wants what kind of government. And then he further warned them, if you create a country on the basis of hatred for other people, then how will you remove that base? Yes. And, he used to say, India's diversity is like the color of a rainbow. Its charm will diminish if one is removed. But unfortunately, he became a marked man. He was against partition. He gave a lot of provocative lectures that India is not a shop. You can divide between brothers. It's a motherland. No child will ever be happy after breaking his mother country. And then he would say that today we are united. Tomorrow we will become rival. And our rivalry will just grow and grow. And he was so right that we had 4 wars, bloody wars since independence. Yes, if religion can unite people for the wrong reason, yes, but you can see Bangladesh became separate from Pakistan in 25 years. If religion had the strength, then all Muslim country would have free movement of people and goods. But reality is totally different. But if there is they have to get together to attack somebody, they will get together, but not to live in peace. So therefore, my father was a marked man, and one fine morning, DAV school, Multan, the student of DAV school, they took out a procession against the partition of India. They got caught in a pro-partition, pro-Pakistan area, Muslim-dominated area. They were being attacked. He was in a court because he was a lawyer. Somebody came to him and said, there's been riots and students are being, attacked. So he went to save the student because they were being knifed, they were beaten up. So when he went there to save, so they left the student, they turned on him because he was the leader and he stopped them. Although student could run away, and he attracted the wrath to himself, and he was stabbed to death at the age of 44, I think. He was 44 years old. He lost his life for Hindu-Muslim unity. And then we lost everything, ancestor home, breadwinner, the country, and we just came on a refugee train to India, this side. But luckily, my father's reputation saved us because, the train was so full. People were climbing wherever they could sit, they were sitting. And my mother, I was only 20 days old, she could not get in the train. So she had presence of mind. She went to the engine driver and pleaded with him that I was the wife of so-and-so. My father's reputation said, oh, he said, the great man. Because my father was a very prominent leader. So he remembered my father. He said, that was a tragic death. So he said, look, I can't help you get on the train, but if you don't mind, you sit on the coal tender. You know where they keep coals?
Yeah.
So we sat on the coal tender and we all become black with coal suit. And I was so frightened when my brother tells me when the engine used to whistle, I used to go blue. So they kept their hands on my ears and we came to this side. And then we went to Patiala. Maharaja Patiala had opened refugee camps. And from there, my mother was very dynamic, very intelligent. Her brother told her to give the children to orphanage. You won't be able to cope. because you're too young and you find somebody else to marry you, whatever, you're 35 years old. My mother refused. He said, I will not give in or give up, no matter what the fate throws at me. And fate did throw all the challenges to her. And she went to see the chief minister of Pepsu, and she took cuttings, certificates of my father. You know, when people were collecting jewelry and clothes, she was collecting my father's paper, and she presented to him. He said, "This is what I was. This is what I've become. Please help me." And then he was really moved, and he said, "Are you educated?" He said, "I'm up to metric. So I'm educated." He said, I'll get you a job in a kindergarten school." So she became a teacher. Then she said, "Go and see if there's any empty house in the area, in the Patiala." So we found one house which the Muslim have left. So they opened the house. We went in there, and my mother, we started our life. She will go to rich people and bring their cast-off clothes to give it to us. And but all my brothers were given free education as a result of my father's reputation, and they won scholarship. And then 5 of my brother became commissioned officer in the Indian Army, and the same mother, refugee mother, received the title proudest Indian mother from the government of India. Yes, so that is the story of a remarkable woman. I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be anywhere, or all of my brothers or siblings wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for the determination, courage, and vision of our mother, who did not let us down, and each one of us become, successful in our own right, and only because one woman was educated and was, I give my faith, the Sikh faith. They treat women as equal from the day one. If she was not treated as equal, then I think I wouldn't be here. We would be probably in an orphanage somewhere. Oh, I don't know.
That's remarkable. And what impact did that have on you? Growing up, and those values around business.
All my mother said that your father was an honorable man. Don't do anything to bring shame to him, because he's a revered figure. He has a statue and he's a picture in Golden Temple, Amritsar. On Amritsar, he's got a statue, a big road after his name. People respect you, respect us, everybody because of your father. The least you can do is not to tarnish his name. And that's what we said. We will never, ever do anything which will bring bad name to our illustrious father, because he died for the right reason. And, every year there's a memorial lecture. There's my father's memorial in university in Patiala. And then in Delhi, the last lecture was given by the Vice President of India. Before that, the Foreign Minister of India. So it's so much respect we have got from our father, and we have to maintain that respect. And because of the family background and what we look up to, we had to strive to be the best among the rest.
Brilliant. And I remember reading that you used to cause a lot of mischief in the class and growing up and a bit naughty. What impact did that have on you?
When I was, you see, because when my mother lost her husband, I was the baby, and she used me as a toy to take her mind off her husband. So I became a spoiled child. All because being the youngest, everybody gave me love, sweets, toffees, chocolates, and all these things, and I was just, mischief maker. Yeah, because and then, I was mediocre student. I didn't do much, but when I came to England, I persuaded my mother that I want to do Barrett Law in UK. I will come back and earn more money as a educated in UK. But anyway, when I came here, it was a cultural shock to me. What I imagined was not the Great Britain or England. What I seen on movies, the English movies, the garden, manicure garden, nice sports car, English people talking, posh accent, going, all this beautiful scenery. So when I came here, it was total, I couldn't understand half of these people, Cockneys and all these. And it was a shock. And no jobs for me. Education was very expensive. My brother had warned me not to come, but I said, "You're just jealous. You don't want me to come and enjoy my life. And I came, and then I, because as I said, because circumstances can change people. And my circumstances, because I was out of luxury into hardship, and that's where I had to think. And then I think, because I do a lot of thinking. Without thinking, you can't move forward. Yeah, you should think all the time before you act. Yeah, plan, and I was thinking, I said, you know, I have blown the chance during the education when I was in the college. I didn't become a good student or a bright student. I didn't progress like the normal student. Yes. Now I have a second chance. If I work for somebody, yeah, I must prove myself. And that's what I did. I said, I've already lost my chance in college. Now, when I'm going to work for somebody, I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to learn and give them. And that's how I became the best. Wherever I went, I became the best because I knew my respect, my self-respect. I don't want to be insulted because if I came late, they will shout at me. If I didn't do the job they asked me to do, they will be rude to me next time. If I, what, it was up to me to earn my respect, and which I did. And the result is just because chasing my honor, maintaining my self-respect, preserving my honor, here I am in front of you from a refugee camp to House of Lords. And I now sit with the best, the cream de la cream, army chief, police commissioner, judges, bishop. When I go there and I pinch myself, is that true? That you
From the car cleaning days.
I said, look at this guy. You were a car cleaner the other day, and now you're sitting with the, Archbishop's Canterbury representative or a chief army, former chief of the British Army or the police commissioner. I have 3 police commissioners sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's really, really inspirational.
Yes, we will make his losses good because, money we can always earn back. But if we lose a customer, we'll never get him back. And he might take 10 more customers with it. You have to look at a bigger picture. You just cannot look at looking at small things, you will remain small.
Fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. And as mentioned, we're going to go into a quick fire round, which is just 5 questions, which are usually in one answer, one worded answer, one sentence. So first one, what would you say is the most proudest achievement of your career to date?
For the first Queen's Award, when I got the first Queen's Award, I had a battered cortina. I went to Buckingham Palace. My wife was dressed like a Bollywood queen, and I went inside the palace, like Bill Clinton. I ride all the way right inside, and then the police officer stopped me. He said, "Driver, you can keep your car here. The lady, you come with me." I said, "Look, I've also come to see the Queen." She's come. So he said, "Okay." So that was the proudest moment. Her Majesty the Queen was with us, mingling with us, with Duke of Edinburgh, talking to us. And that was the proudest moment for a man who saw the Queen on television, and to be in face to face. What a gracious lady she is. Yes. And that was the greatest, highest achievement for me.
That's incredible. And would you advise people to either A, work for their passion, or B, work for money?
No, work for your passion. You will make more money. Because, if you work for money, then you will only keep on, £10 an hour, £10 an hour. You work, somebody gave you £20, you work 2 hours, and you'll stop. Therefore, if you work for passion, then you are self-motivated person. That what motivates you, your passion, your own ambition. So therefore, it is very, very important. The money, for example, I give you one example, my own example. When I went for a first job, after I was car cleaner, I didn't like it. I left, and then I went for a job, looking for a job. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. Yeah. I was given £12 a week in those days. Yes. Then I looked around the corner. There was another job, staff wanted. I went to fish and chip shop. And I said, how much the job pay? He said, 12, 14 pound. And I said, is there any scope? He said, what do you mean scope? Any progress? He says, you and me. Then I went back to KFC and I said, is there any progress, any scope? He said, yes. If you're good, we'll make you system manager. If you're better, we'll make you manager. And even better, we'll make you district manager. So from there, money, had I gone for the 2 pound extra, in 3 months, I became a system manager. My pay became 18 months. In a year, I became a manager. My salary became 35 pounds. In 2 years, I was a district manager running 10 stores. My salary was 75 pounds. Yes, with a company car expensive. So just so all that glitter is not gold. You got to look for opportunity, the scope, where you're going to end up.
Brilliant. And what is the one bit of advice you would tell people not to do in business today?
Well, my biggest advice is, please, if you are growing, you want to grow your business, you must grow from the profit. Do not try to borrow money to expand, because that you might be lucky, but behind every success, there are 10 failure also. That's where a lot of companies fail. There's no rush. There is no deadline. We don't have to beat anybody. You have to see your own circumstances. If you're in a business, you make sure that you generate profit, and within that profit, with the help of that profit, you grow. Then if tomorrow there is a downturn in the business, you are not worried and you don't have a high leverage.
And of course, you work with many successful people, and you see them day to day. What is the one key trait you see in other successful people?
They have some qualities, yes, that we have to emulate. Yes, I always say you mix with people who are higher than you. You will learn a great deal from them because they're ahead of you, because they're successful. They have something extra. So you have to follow, copy what you want to be. So therefore, if you want to be a politician, copy them. You want to be a doctor, copy them. If you want to be successful, you have to inherit the qualities of successful people, that they are punctual, they work hard, their attention to detail. They are not, I always give one example I can give you now, that 2 medical students, they go to same medical college, they study same length of time, they get the same certificate, MBBS. Yet one ends up in Harley Street, one ends up in just ordinary clinic. The difference is, when I ask people, they say he had the money, he had the connection. No, but the man in Harley Street is never in rush, never in hurry. He will take a second opinion, third opinion. He will ask searching questions to his patient, establish the cause. What is the problem? He's never in rush. Once he knows what's wrong with my patient, he will then take another opinion, 2, 3 opinions. Look, this is the problem. What do you think? And then he will treat his patient. But the man in the ordinary clinic is in fast rush. He will never take time to establish. He will just do, or he will just push you to some specialist in a hospital. Yes? Yeah. So therefore, be perfectionist. Mediocrity will get you by, but it will never get you noticed.
Fantastic. And final one, this might be, I don't know if this will be a tough one, but where do you prefer, India or UK?
UK, 100 times. UK, because you know why? Because I only have one life. And if I was in India, I shudder to think what would have been my future. This country has given me everything. I came with nothing and I have everything. And I'm very loyal to this country. I'll do anything, although I'm very loyal to India also, but I will never betray the trust of these people who have given me everything. So therefore, Britain has developed me into the man I am today. And I've learned a great deal, because you're judged by the company you keep. I have kept the company of British people. From there, I've learned to be tolerant. I've learned to be fair. I learned to be, so many things. Yes. So Britain to me is my country now. I'm British citizen. Yeah. I'm British peer. I can't, and I want to pass that cricket test.
Yeah. Fantastic. And look, that wraps it up. Again, like so much advice for anybody who's going to be listening to this. Do you have anything else that you want to add or mention to that?
Well, my final word is that you're all unique. Everyone is born with special qualities. And identify your strength and your qualities and make the most of what you have been blessed with. And please do try, otherwise you'll have regret later on in life. I wish I'd done this, I wish that. It doesn't matter if you don't succeed, but there are chances you will succeed if you do how we have done, that you were planned, you did all due diligence, you took all the precaution, you got training from other people, and you were really prepared to go into the battlefield rather than just, go unprepared. So once you done all your homework, I guarantee you, and you're willing to work hard, efforts are in the hand. My mother used to say, efforts are in our hand, rewards are in the hand of Almighty. So God will bless you if you do your utmost.
Fantastic. And if anybody wants to follow you online, are you on any social media platforms they can follow you?
I said hidden talent is no talent. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and anyone who wants some advice, a genuine person, I'm very happy to give them any advice free of charge, because for me, if we can turn assets for this country, we will all be better. I am a fellow of Princess Trust, and I go mentor youth, and I share my stories, and they get heart that if this idiot can do it, we can do it.
No, well, and look, I also advise anybody at home, like really, buy the book. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, sir. It's been a great pleasure to have a conversation with a professional like you.
Thank you so much. And remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on inspire.pod. And we look forward to the next episode. Goodbye.
Thank you. All the best. Stay well.